Gracias and welcome to Vasili's garden. Now, have you always wanted to have one of those really productive organic gardens but just didn't know where to start from? Did you want to have a grey water system with a solar power system running too, feeding back into the grid and too paranoid about setting one up and not sure how to run it? Don't worry, we've come out to Melton today to meet the man himself, Mr. Gavin Webber. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks, Vasili.
That's a go. Now, Gavin's going to take us through a journey in his garden. You're
Yep.
going to show us around exactly what you've done. You've had that little bit of a green...
Epiphany?
something like that,
Yes.
Tell us about yourself,
I had a
mate.
green moment. Look, back in 2006, I was a normal average consumer, and I went along and saw An Inconvenient Truth. And halfway through the movie, a blind flash of reality came to me, and I thought, well, what the hell am I doing with my life?
Okay.
You know, why am I why am I adding to the problem of global warming or climate change, as it's called now, when I could actually do something about it?
Yeah.
So I got off my bum and started doing something about it.
Okay, so, I mean, you're saying it was a movie that you saw, not Vasili's garden?
No, but I do watch that too.
Good idea. All right, so what's your profession? Well, are you working still at the moment?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I work full time.
What do you do?
I'm in IT, and I work for a financial institution.
Okay, all right. And your passion in gardening, was it always evident prior to this movie?
Not really. My grandmother was a fantastic gardener back in Loxton, where I grew up in South Australia, and she used to win prizes all the time.
Right.
But that was more ornamental. But
Okay.
I kind of learned as a small kid the sort of things that you can do. And she never used any synthetic fertilisers or anything like that. It was all just manure and stuff like that. So
We're out here in Melton, folks, and we're in the front garden of Gavin's place here. You've got the beautiful chocolate brown brick wall. But behind the green gate is where all the story lies. Also in the front garden, I should say, now this front garden was quite green once upon a time, and not with plantation, but rather just grass is what we're
most
talking.
definitely. Yeah, it was all grass.
Yep.
And I decided probably about a week after my green moment or green epiphany to pull it all up and put fruit trees in and make it drought tolerant. So all of the plants are either native or drought tolerant.
Yeah.
I don't water out here at all.
Fantastic.
Maybe in the summer when it gets really hot for the fruit trees, but that's
Fair
about
enough.
it. And you can see that I've got
All sorts of signs and parks and
Yeah,
plants and
yeah.
trees, and we're going to tour around. You're going to take us for a little journey, tell
Yeah,
us the ins and outs of a duck's bum here, basically of how you started, what you've changed here, and what your mission is and achievements and goals have been.
fantastic.
Sit back and relax.
Now you can see here, Vasili, we used to have an old gum tree. You got its stumps and stuff here. It had borers, so we had to get it taken down before it fell down.
How long ago was that?
Probably 6 months ago.
Okay. You still got the stumps?
Yeah, we got stumps for seats when we do the weeding out here.
Okay.
So you reuse them all.
We've got one in each garden then,
Yeah,
obviously.
there is. Yeah. You can have a stop and have a rest. But I got a fahoa here that I put in, and that's growing quite well.
Yeah.
And I've just used the sawdust, sawdust and bark from the tree, and just got some organic compost and just planted into that.
And you've got a variety of trees. I can
we
see
got- we got-
apricots. and
Yeah, we got
nectarines.
12 trees out here now.
In the front garden?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some plums over there too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, you know, in Melton, I've come to Melton many a times in the past, and I've been to some gardens, and I can tell you something. The soil here, after the experiences that I've seen in other people's gardens, it's a struggle just to get anything to grow.
It is. It's really clay-based. It's a real heavy clay.
Yeah.
And you really either have to build it up or get varieties that'll grow on the clay.
So, being the fact that it's clay-based, with the last year's drought that we've gone through, let's say the last 10 years of drought, I know we've had a good drop of rain in the last few months. Has it really made it difficult for plants to survive through here?
It has. I've actually had 2 of the fruit trees die, so I've had to replace them.
Okay.
And that was during
What's
the
this over there?
scorcher. Well, yeah, one of those and one of the apple trees.
Yeah.
So what I had to do was build the soil up. You can see I've got a lot of organic matter in here, and I got a little bit of dirt in, not much, probably about 1 square metre that I distributed through all of the yard. And this, you can dig down, and I've actually, the clay
This is foreign soil mixed in, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of it. Yeah.
And
So
compost and mulch.
I had to mix it. Yeah, lots of compost from my own compost bins.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is excellent.
And to get that, this tree hasn't started off this year though, but it'll
great.
get there. It's still alive. But so these are ornamental pears. Not ornamental pears. These are cocktail pears. So they're only going to grow about 2 metres anyway.
Okay.
But because of the drought, when I did plant them 2 years ago, I had to put a slotted egg pipe in, and that's how I water them through to the root zone. So
Does that go straight down or does it curve underneath?
it curves in an L shape, so
Okay.
the root ball's actually sitting on top of the L.
Yep. So how far down would that sit?
Probably the pipe was 1.5 metres. So
1.5 metre pipe down, that far down, you've got
yeah,
it.
most definitely had to be.
Okay, okay.
Well,
so
and they managed to survive. Well, you can see these. We'll talk about those ones later, but
Yeah.
they're a lot greener. Well, this
Well,
this
they're
only
all
just
going to be
started.
green, and I can see, considering the conditions that we've had, as far as the last year's drought and all that, and the fact that your soil is just like totally non-existent as far as being a growing medium.
Yeah.
You've done pretty well to keep everything alive here.
Most definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the lucerne helps too, because of what I
Are
found.
you feeding the family with that stuff?
Oh well, I'm no feeding the chickens, the family of chickens.
He's
No,
got some chooks too, folks.
Yeah, so I feed the chooks the lucerne, but I growed it out here in the front yard because it's the only space I got left. So,
fair
but
enough.
I find that apparently the lucerne has really long roots and it brings up nutrients
Yep.
from deep down in the clay.
Okay. Mate, I'm having a look at your little dwarf nectarine tree here, mate. Not a single speck of leaf curl.
Yeah,
It's a great effort.
oh, too right. I don't know what I've done different than anybody else, but it just doesn't seem to happen here.
Let's not put the curse on it, the
No,
Greek
let's
curse.
not, no.
But you've got a lot of holes in here.
Yeah, they're from earwigs. Earwigs seem to like just crunching on the leaves.
They're a nuisance and they're a bugger to control.
They are. Look, I've got a method, but I'll show you later. It's pretty good.
He's got secrets.
Vasili, let's go into the backyard where all the action happens.
Behind the green gate. That's the way, yeah. Soft closing gate.
No.
Now, what was here before you planted all this up?
There was a little bit of lawn
Yeah.
and some really horrible garden beds and some bush things that
Yeah,
kept
yeah,
dying,
just-
I don't
Yep,
know.
yep.
So we dug them all out,
Yep.
and we laid down these garden beds, raised garden beds, because the soil underneath was just pure clay.
Yeah, yeah, we
and
spoke about that.
yeah, there's no topsoil at all.
No hope of growing garlic in
No
that
hope
stuff.
of growing anything, you know.
Yeah,
So you know, I didn't want to put any more trees in
Okay.
in the ground, so I put them in pots in the
Alright.
back here.
So how many trees would you have in the whole garden?
24 trees now.
You're kidding, 24 on this
24 fruit
property
trees.
here?
Yep, yep.
All right, obviously you've got a lot in the pot there. You've got about a dozen in the front yard or so, and the rest of them are scattered around.
Yeah, most definitely.
Now, this is fresh soil, composted soil you brought in. You've got the raised sleepers, as you can see, red gum sleepers, not treated pine.
Yep.
How old are the garden beds?
I did them in 2007, so January 2007.
And how old is garlic now?
Oh, the garlic I put in March.
March?
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit young still there, mate, but still early in the season.
Yeah, the tops haven't died off, so
No,
the
not
bulbs
at all.
haven't formed
No,
yet.
these are still
formed
fresh
yet.
as. But, I mean, we'll put
That'll
that back in
taste
the ground.
beautiful. It tastes beautiful if you ate it.
Yeah, it's dirty.
Yeah,
All
it'll grow right.
All right, you plant it back in the ground there. And if you have a close look at the garden bed, every single one here has got irrigation. You've set up an irrigation system. Is that coming straight from town water, grey water?
I've got a combination of both, because we can still, back in when we were stage 3A, we could water 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2 times a week, sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
But I've got it from the rainwater tank, so I've got little drippers on there that we can use for low pressure irrigation. So I simply turn the tap on the tank and let it run for a couple of hours.
And for people who want to set up irrigation at home in their veggie garden, what do they need to do? What do you have to do to maintain it?
Maintenance is nothing, really. Once you put it in, look, it cost me about $200 in parts, and I had a lot of stuff that the previous owners 10 years ago, I saved heaps of pipes and connectors and stuff like that.
Yeah, realistically speaking, irrigation is really next to nothing in cost.
No, maybe occasionally I've got some taps on the end, as you can see, that I flush out occasionally.
All right, that's the end of the pipe itself.
If there's gunk in the rainwater tank, but not very often.
Not very often. These are all drippers that you've got set up on these garden beds. The other question is, do you have to pack it up when you finish planting and turning the soil over?
No, not at all. All I do is just move it up, because it's on a hinge at the end. And so all the pipes, I just put them up against the wall.
Beautiful. And you got a couple of pegs there because I felt a bit of tension there.
Yeah.
And you just put it back down and peg it in.
Yeah, that's right. And then plant around it.
And plant straight back around it, and that's the job done. And that will turn on whenever you need to. It's a couple of days a week if you've got a grey water system. And all your garden beds are irrigated.
Yeah, yep.
Check out the broad beans. Have a look at these broad beans. They're everywhere, man.
Yeah,
You've
that's
been
fantastic.
growing these for what? Just for feed or just to
No,
dig back
just
in?
to eat, and we cut them off at the stalk and then leave all the nitrogen on the roots because it has little nodes on it, and then
Yeah.
I plant tomatoes in the bed.
Wonderful.
So it feeds it.
So we're having lunch here today, folks. Broad beans. It's going to swell up in my guts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't worry, Vasili can handle anything. Oh, beautiful, fresh.
Fresh, they're lovely.
Oh, yeah. I need a bit of a burst of nitrogen in my guts. Now, the kitchen is only about 10 paces away from here, and the ideal location for your herbs would have to be as close to the kitchen door as possible.
Most definitely.
And this is about as close as you can get without putting them in complete shade. Have a look at this little road, it's a little cottage lane here. You've got a bit of everything growing.
Yeah.
But the fact is you've got them all in pots.
Yeah, most definitely, because they just won't grow on the clay.
Yeah.
So easy enough to keep water up to them when we need to.
Exactly. I mean, the fact of the matter is people saying, oh, I can't grow herbs in pots, they'll dry out too much and all that sort of stuff. A little bit of water, how often would you be giving them?
Oh, once a week at the
That-
moment.
that's
Yeah,
it?
in the height of summer, probably once a day.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but you know, not too bad.
On average, it'd be once a week.
Yeah, most definitely. The rest of the year, yeah.
2/3 of the year.
Yeah.
And he does water his garden once a day because he has got his own water tanks installed. How many
Most
have you
definitely. Well, I've got this one, and I've got another 400 litres,
Yep.
just in small water butts.
Yep.
And I use those to actually.
Oh, look at the little baby ones.
Yeah, little baby ones, and I fill those up from the main one.
Okay.
So I've got 3,500 litres.
Which
on
keeps
tap.
you going?
Yeah, over the summer. Yeah, most
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because you sometimes get summer showers. You know, those really heavy
Yeah,
thunderstorms.
Which help you top up again.
Yeah, she fills up.
Which is good. So you probably need about 10 to 15,000 litres over the summer period.
Oh, most
spring, summer.
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
So if you get a couple of shower bursts of rain, that'll help you along.
Oh, yeah, it does. This is what I do with the fertiliser. So this is only 100 litres.
Yeah.
So I put power feed, liquid seaweed fertiliser in there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's not all, folks. You got that on tap. It's also got something else on tap. Let me show you. He's got his downpipe on tap. Have a look at this.
Yeah,
What's
most
going
definitely.
on?
well, this is how I actually fill the swimming pool up. So when the tank gets full, right, there's a swimming pool over there.
Yeah.
I just connect it up, and this is called a first flush diverter, and it captures all the muck out of the gutters when the first bit of
Yeah,
rain
yeah,
comes,
yeah.
and all the rubbish goes into here.
Yeah.
But it's got a little filter in it, so what I've done, I put a tap on it and connect a garden hose up and put it in the swimming pool.
Don't worry, folks. I'm just recharging my batteries.
You don't need to here,
Why?
because I put all the power back into the grid.
Check him out. Have a look up there. How many panels you got set up?
16.
How many in the family?
Living at home now, 4.
4. How many were?
6.
And what's that?
That's the inverter, Vasili.
What does that do?
What that does, that converts the DC current from the solar panels, and it converts it into 240 volts AC that the house runs on.
Okay, so that's making electricity for you, is what
Most
you're trying to tell me,
definitely.
basically.
Yes, in English, yeah.
Okay, so that makes electricity. You've got 4 people in the family.
Yeah.
Are you getting any leftover electricity or something?
Most definitely. Yeah, we're in credit now on our bill.
Okay.
Yeah, because the government instigated a thing called a feed-in tariff,
Okay.
and what that does, they pay us 66 cents per kilowatt hour we put into the grid.
The government pays you.
Oh, well, the
get
energy
money.
retailer. Yeah, we get money, yeah.
You're getting money because you've got solar power on your roof.
Yeah, most definitely.
I can do that too.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Anybody can.
Anybody can.
Yeah.
And get money back from the government.
Most definitely.
So what's that showing me there now? Numbers.
2,300 watts.
What are you telling me? Is that telling you how much money you're getting back?
Oh, no, that's just telling us how much it's generating.
Oh, that's times that by the dollar value.
Yeah, it times that by 0.66 cents.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
No, mate, easy.
Mate, hey!
Yeah,
We're
too
gonna, I want to get some solar panels on my roof too there, folks. Let's go back out there in the sun and sunbake
Yeah,
a little bit
sure.
more. I need to recharge my batteries. Where are you taking me, man?
Into the greenhouse.
It's great. Hey, check it out.
They're husk tomatoes or tomatillos.
Tomatillos, what?
Yeah.
They grow like giants?
Well, no, the Mexicans use them in salsa. So they're like a sweet,
Tomato.
yeah, kind of.
But tomatoes are
But
sweet.
they're not tomatoes. No, they're not tomatoes. They kind of look like
But
it.
they're husk tomatoes.
Yes.
Are they those little ones?
Yeah, yeah, and they
And
got
they've
like
got
a
a
little
little-
paper wrap around them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They look like a little. Yeah. Tomatillos is.
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
call them,
They're
okay.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're like cherry tomatoes with the wrapping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a present. You get gift wrapped tomatoes.
All right. And this is his hothouse, folks. He does his own propagating. You collect your own seeds. We've got some real tomatoes here, not tomatillo tomatoes. Look at this. They're coming up. We've got Tommy Toe, we've got Tigerellas, we've got yellows, we've got black Russians, and Amish what?
Amish paste.
Amish paste.
Yeah,
I
great
won't-
for making tomato paste with. Yeah, yeah. Funny
I'm
about
learning. I'm learning. This little gardener's learning how to garden a bit better. So he propagates his own seeds, he germinates them, and then you take them back outside.
that. Yeah, most definitely. Into the back
4
of the garden.
people in a garden, you can't possibly be able to consume all this. You can
No,
avoid-
but
do you share?
we preserve and share.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you got some preserves you can show me?
Yeah, I can show you the preserves.
We're going to check out some preserves. Can we taste some?
Yeah, for lunch, yeah.
What about moonshine? You make some moonshine.
Oh, I do too. I make home brew.
Where do you keep the home brew?
That's in the shed. I'll show you where it is.
Let's go. Which way do I go? Why's my one got a hole in it, man? Making beer, what makes a good beer?
Well, you know, you got to get a good kit first. You
Yeah,
can't just buy
all
a home brand one,
Okay.
right?
No
And
$2 shop special?
no. But it's you got to sterilise all your equipment.
Yes.
That's the key. Really is. So sterilisation, all your equipment must be sterile.
Is that just using normal dishwashing soap?
No, there's some sodium metabisulfate is a chemical that you can use, but it's harmless to humans.
Okay.
In small doses.
Yes.
And then the second key to a great beer is to keep the temperature of the brewer constant.
All right, and you got a little thermometer. Oh, that's it there.
Yeah, there it is there.
Oh, is that automatic?
Yeah.
So what do you? Oh, you got to cool it down if it gets too hot and heat it up if it gets too cold.
Yeah, so I make most of my beer in spring and autumn because it's better temperature. Because in summer it's just so hot in here, you just can't make it.
And it's quite simple. So you put all the ingredients in there. You seal it off.
Screw the lid on.
Let it go for how long?
About 7 days usually until it ferments out, and then just check with a hydrometer to measure.
In 7 days you can make a batch, a beer.
Well, yeah, then you got to leave it in the bottles for about 14 days. She's angry.
Why is she angry?
Oh,
angry, sweetheart.
Poppy. Yeah, she's sitting on everybody else's eggs.
Yeah, they're a bit big for her, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. She only does baby eggs. In there, darling. All right.
So how many chicks?
I've got 8.
8?
Yeah, so the rest are Isa Browns, which lay the big eggs, and 2 Bantams.
They're great to control insects and pests in the soil, you know, and all
most
sorts of things
definitely.
like that.
Yeah.
You said to me earlier you've got your own methods and remedies that you can use, and maybe show us a couple that.
Yeah, I've got some just over here.
What do you got?
I've got some earwig protection.
Earwig.
Yes.
Right. Sounds interesting.
Yes.
What are we looking at, mate?
Right, over here we've got some earwig traps, and earwigs are they're feral here, and they'll eat anything green, especially during the drought years anyway. So as preparation to keep these lovely zucchinis that I planted about a month ago alive, what I do is get a salsa jar and I'll just pop it out, and you can see that's got a fair bit of water because we've had some rain, but on the top is olive oil, and what they do, the earwigs, it's like bees to honey. It's incredible. They just jump.
Kidding.
No, they jump in. They jump straight
I
in.
get so many questions about trying to control earwigs and all that. We talk about newspapers and mulch and things like that, and some of them do work, you know. But
yeah. No, this is simple. You can see there's about 50 earwigs in there already.
check the plum tree out, folks. As green as a green can be. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right.
Hey, you can spare a couple.
There's enough of them. It's about a million.
Well, I was going to say tens of thousands of plums on this. It's chock full, man. So what type is it again?
Oh, this is a blood plum or satsuma.
It's a beautiful apple tree here.
Yeah, this is a Jonathan apple. It's on dwarf rootstock. So this is the first year it's flowered. So I'm hoping now that we got some busy bees around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're pollinating the apple, the blossom. So we should get lots of Jonathan apples this year. It'd be beautiful.
The biggest thing with fruit trees in people's gardens are that if they don't have enough varieties of the one, let's say apple, 2, 3 apples for pollination, you're not going to be able to get that produce growing properly. With your over 24 trees that you have got in the garden here, you're going to have a feast here enjoying all the produce.
When I planted them, I matched them all up for their pollination types. So I've got a couple of apple trees in the front garden, and they're at pollination. They need this tree to pollinate, and vice versa.
Yeah, and it works. And you've got the bees hovering around doing their job.
They're loving it.
And just below, for a little bit of ornamental touch, we've got the stack stone blocks, whatever you call those things, Mondo blocks, and Mondo grass.
And a lovely sign my wife painted.
Yeah, you've got the signage everywhere. That's cool. It really adds that element of country relaxed lifestyle. Sit back and drink another beer.
Yeah, why not?
We're looking at a peach tree here, folks. Now, this is about 3 years of age.
Yeah. I put it in 2007.
Okay.
So.
Now, you have got a little bit of leaf curl, but nothing to the extreme to be worried about and having to start spraying. You don't spray anything.
No.
We learnt about your olive oil protection with the
that's
earwigs.
about as good as it gets, and maybe a bit of garlic spray.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, most definitely.
This is pretty clean. You know, normally this time of the year, you'll find that the tree would be over 60 or 70% covered in leaf curl, but only having not even 10, 20% of this tree. So you're doing pretty well.
And the good thing is, because there's rocks down the bottom, the leaf litter doesn't stay there. I clear it up.
Okay.
So the fungus that makes the leaf
the
curl,
spores.
it doesn't go from year to year. So
as long as you clean the leaf mulch, you don't let it settle into the soil.
No, most definitely.
And some more Mondo grass underneath for planting. Is there a reason for that, or is it just a feature?
Just ornamental. So
we're at the other side of the garden here. We've just passed some beautiful fruit trees, and we're looking at some broccoli and cabbage. And I'm noticing, apart from a little bit of snail attack, which is very minimal, you don't have any cabbage butterfly or any other insect really affecting your plants.
No, and I think the reason is because I don't spray anything, nothing toxic. Yeah. And I've actually got so many birds here, as in, they eat the chook feed as well. Yeah. And I've actually got a couple of little blackbirds that are nesting around the garage area. And I've seen them picking the bugs off the cabbages. They don't eat the cabbages, they just eat the bugs.
That's amazing. So that's a point to be taken for everybody at home. If you've got your own veggie garden going on there and you're concerned about having to use a pesticide, a chemical as such, really think twice before you actually go out there and start spraying your plants, because you're going to attack and destroy all the good insects, all the predators, as we call them, that attack all the bad, nasty insects that affect your plants, plus the wildlife itself too. You don't want to have wildlife coming along here like birds, which are chasing insects, getting poisoned.
That's right.
And you're keeping it healthy. Your family's eating organic produce. You know what goes into it.
Even eat the leaves.
Exactly.
Even eat the leaves. It's beautiful.
After a hard day's work out in the garden, mate, and you picked all the beautiful fresh produce and there's some left over, this is what you do with it.
Most definitely. This is what we preserve. So
this is amazing. Straight from your garden. All this stuff here.
Well, all this stuff, the soap we make ourselves, and cheese as well. So
run me through. I'm dumbfounded. You make soap too.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
So we've got a hot chili chutney that's just made from jalapenos. Very similar to these ones are preserved. Same sort of one. Same batch.
I dare not taste one at the moment because we won't finish this scene here.
Very hot.
What do you got to the left?
And then we've got some bread and butter cucumbers.
Bread and butter.
Yeah. So it's just it's a sweet, sugary mixture with some spices. Onion. A little bit of onion. Beautiful it is on sandwiches.
Okay.
And this is, I know it says 2008, but they're still good to eat.
Yeah.
And they're plums from the plum tree.
Wonderful.
So we preserve some extras.
Jams?
Yeah, just a little bit. These are from the lime and orange tree that we've got.
Yeah.
So we've got some marmalade I've whipped up there. And what do we got here? We've got some brinjal pickle, eggplant pickle we use on curries. Beautiful.
If you can grow it, you can preserve it. Does it take
definitely.
much effort to make some of this stuff?
About an hour.
About an hour.
About an hour to do the prep, and then about an hour in the water bath, the Fowler's kit.
But you're not going to make one jar at a time, are you?
No, make about 8.
That's fig jam. So the time it takes you to jump in the car, drive to the supermarket, pick up a few jars like this, it costs you a few bucks in petrol, right? And rather than actually spending the time and money going out to the stores and not knowing what you're buying, we're talking Gav's.
This is a beetroot.
I'm reading the label of Gav's pickled beetroot.
Yeah.
In a couple of hours, you can make all this stuff yourself.
Most definitely. This is a white, I can't remember the name of it. It started with a C.
Yeah.
And it had red rings in the beetroot.
Yeah, it almost looks like onion.
Yeah, kind of. But it should taste beetrooty.
And what have we missed out? Plum-cot jam.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I haven't got a plum-cot tree, but I bought some organic plum-cots from Bacchus Marsh, just down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your two kids have moved out, you said?
Yeah, two
you've got
older
a spare
kids.
room for me, have you?
No, that's taken up.
Well, we've got some cakes of soap here.
Yeah.
What's this made out of?
This is made of just normal vegetable oil.
It's sweet pea and vanilla.
You smell it, it's beautiful.
The one you're looking at there, folks, is violet and lime. And if that's not enough, folks, have a look at this. No, we didn't buy this down at the local.
No, I made it myself.
All right.
And that's Pyrenees with green peppercorns, and you can probably see through the
the
wax.
peppercorns,
There's peppercorns there.
Have a look at those little black dots there.
That'll be ready
inside.
by February next year. And then we got a Parmesan.
That's a Parmesan.
Yeah, beautiful. So I waxed this one because normal Parmesan's like 46 kilos big, right?
Yeah.
So when you make a kilo batch, you've got to wax it because it dries out.
Okay. So you've got that stored there, and that'll last you years, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and here's one I prepared earlier. I'll tell you what.
How hard is it? Oh, yeah, you can't even break it. No.
You can shave it off with a knife.
There's a bit there. What do you think?
Oh, try that. Oh, a bit hard. Beautiful for grating.
That is beautiful.
I'll tell you what.
It doesn't smell like smelly socks here, folks. There is no excuse why you can't set up your own little veggie garden, productive garden. But remember, ornamental planting is just as important because it helps to bring in all the good insects, the birds,
and
the
all
wildlife.
the bees pollinate,
for pollination. And then you can end up with some of these results here. Home produce, preserved yourself. You know exactly what goes into it. You know what you're feeding your family. And you feel good about yourself because not only your health is benefiting, so is the environment. From me, Vasili, Maresi. You're doing a Zorba after, you know that.
Yeah.
Okay.